So over the course of Power, we saw Kanan making several chess moves, and in episode 5 of Raising Kanan, we saw RAQ making a similar play to what we saw Kanan make in Power. It was having Scrap planted right into the middle of Unique's organization, something Kanan did in Power when he realized the best form of attack was to attack from inside of Ghost's organization when you couldn't have Ghost killed before he was out of prison. So in this video, we're going to break down why RAQ specifically chose Scrappy to infiltrate Unique's organization, what impact this is going to have on RAQ and Unique, and also throw it back to Power and look at a similar move that Kanan made, and it's something I touched on in my review and recap video, but we're going to dissect it down in detail in terms of Scrappy, the storyline, and what will happen to him as a character going forward as well. So there's going to be a lot we're going to break down in detail in terms of Scrappy's storyline, but of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But let's get into this storyline involving Scrappy, Unique, Kanan and Raquel, because after episode 4, Raquel had enough of Unique. She wanted to go on the offense. She made it clear that she wanted to know what Unique was doing before he does it. She wanted to get into Unique's head. She didn't want to start a war, but she wanted to know every single move, every single play, so she can stay 3 moves ahead of him. But let's just rewind it back to episode 2 for a moment, and they're meeting at the graveyard because Raquel did warn Unique that look, when I come for you, you ain't gonna see me come. And this is exactly what Raquel has done in episode 5. She made a move which Unique hasn't seen coming, and it's the leadership and issues that I raised with Unique's character and his ability to sniff out situations and things like this. He was someone that killed his right hand man, someone that instills fear into his crew as a way of keeping them in line, and he's not the greatest and smartest of leaders. So as for Raquel going on the offense and to know what Unique was doing before he does it and get into Unique's head, how was she going to make this happen? Well, we saw it. She used Scrappy and planted him right into the middle of Unique's organization. But why did she choose Scrappy? There's a few reasons as to why she chose Scrappy, and everything that played out in episode 5 worked out perfectly for Raquel to have Scrappy infiltrate Unique's organization. She knows he's someone that can stick and move, someone that can outrun enemies and think on his feet just like we saw him do in this scene. But crucially, she knows that him and Kanan have a problem. They don't get on, and what went down with their fight in episode 5, him being arrested along with Kanan, and this is the key, with one of Unique's boys watching on, as Scrappy gets into the police car, this information would have got back to Unique, and Raquel would have known this after she stopped Scrappy and would have had a conversation with him, which we never actually saw happen on screen. But this is the same story that Scrappy gave when he went over to Unique's tail ring spot. He told Unique that he's had enough of Raquel because he'd been busting her balls off for her and her organization for 5 years, and all of a sudden this bitch ass Kanan's come along and jumps him in line with a promotion, and he's out here just focused on business. Now this story would fall in line with what he would have been told by his crew member, and it matches with what Scrappy's told Unique as well, and Unique believes him. And with Unique losing 2 of his crew members recently with Trez G and Pee Wee, he certainly has a space and a spot for Scrappy, and now Raquel has one of her most trusted soldiers inside of Unique's crews. She has eyes and ears on everything that Unique will have planned in the future, and every single one of his moves. This is exactly what she set out to do at the beginning of episode 5 when she told Lulu that she wanted to get inside of Unique's head. But why did she choose Scrappy other than the fight with Kanan? It's simple. He's one of RAQ'S most trusted soldiers, and even Jukebox knows. His character description tells us that he's street savvy, and we saw it during the Stick and Move episode when he swerved Detective Howard, his loyalty to his crew, and most importantly, he is RAQ'S most trusted soldier, and I definitely don't think we'll see him betray RAQ and the Thomas organization. I do think he's going to be able to give some vital and key information to Raquel when he can, with what Unique plans and what moves he's going to make, and it will keep Raquel and the Thomas family 3 moves ahead of him. So not only does Raquel now have the high rises with the apartments overlooking the streets, she now has someone in the streets as well, so she's covering everything and really thinking 3 moves ahead, and it's smart from Raquel. Smart but dangerous, and very dangerous, because what if Scrappy gets caught? We've seen Unique not even just killing his right hand man, this was his boy that he grew up with. He tortured him right before he killed him, so you can just imagine what he would do to Scrappy if he ever found out why he was really there. So let's hope that doesn't happen this season. Now one piece of information I do think Scrappy can get Raquel is who was the one who leaked the location to the stash house, because now he has a direct link to Unique. Scrappy will probably find out that it was Davina who gave Unique the location, and it would match the story that Raquel could and probably will hear from Juliana at the bodega, because she overheard Jukebox mentioning it was Davina too in a conversation with Kanan and Famous. So that's a potential storyline that Scrappy could be involved in at some point during the second half of the season, and definitely plenty more as well. Now even though as we the audience know that Scrappy has been planted into the organization by Raquel, Kanan doesn't. Kanan thought it was Scrappy who gave up the location to the stash house in the first place, and now he's going to find out that he's actually turned over to Unique's side, not knowing that it was his mom's plan, and similar to the whole situation that went down with Buck on the corner of 140th, where Kanan didn't know Raquel gave up the corner to Unique. I can see Kanan jump into the same old conclusions like he's shown us over the course of the first half of Raising Kanan, and causing a real issue in the second half of the season once again, unless Raquel tells Kanan that she's planted Scrappy into Unique's crew, and ultimately teaching Kanan this is how you stay 3 moves ahead of your enemies by figuring out what their next move is going to be so you can counteract that move. And I say Raquel teaching this to Kanan because now I want to throw it back to season 2, episode 1. Kanan is now a free man after serving 10 years in prison. He tried to have Ghost clipped before he got out of prison, and that would have left him free to link up with Tommy, be introduced to the Connect, and then he would have clipped Tommy and taken over the whole organization, but didn't quite go to plan, so he moved to plan B, and his plan B is exactly what Raquel's play is with Scrappy and Raising Kanan in 1991. He knew he couldn't clip Ghost now that he was out of prison because it would start a war with Tommy, and this is something similar to what Raquel said. She really didn't want to start a war either. So in Power Season 2 Episode 1, Kanan told Dre that the best way for him to approach this is to attack from the inside, and he already had a man planted in Ghost's organization that would tell him everything that he wanted to know, and that was his son Sean. And now we can really see how and why Kanan moved the way he did after he came out of prison, and that's because of his mom's Raquel, who's making a very similar move with Scrappy, and this is where Kanan would have learned to infiltrate an organization and attack from the inside, being 3 moves ahead and being able to take out his enemies. Unfortunately for Kanan, it didn't quite exactly work out the way he planned, but nonetheless the concept and the situations are very similar. Whether this is successful for Raquel, we're just gonna have to wait and see. And what is gonna happen to Scrappy if he gets caught, which no doubt I think will happen at some point. At some point Unique will find out that information is being leaked from his crew, and fingers will start to be pointed around. People are gonna be looking around and not being able to trust each other until Scrappy is caught. But here's the key question: do I think Scrappy will die at the hands of Unique when and if he gets caught? I still don't think so. I think Raquel is someone who will protect Scrappy, with him being so loyal and being one of our most trusted soldiers. I think Scrappy is someone who can take care of himself. We've seen him stick and move before, and I think we've only seen a quarter of what Scrappy is capable of because, as I said, there's a reason why Raquel has chosen Scrappy to be the one to plant in Unique's organization. So I do think Scrappy will make it out of this season alive and play more of a role in season 2. So that's the detailed breakdown of Scrappy being planted into Unique's organization, because I did get a few different comments with some thinking whether he actually did betray Raquel and the Thomas family and move over to Unique's crew. But for me it was clear as anything from the first watch that he'd been planted there by Raquel, especially because Raquel wants to know every move that Unique makes before he makes it. And it's going to be interesting to see how Kanan takes this, because even though he's heard it from Duke that Scrappy is Raquel's most trusted soldiers, he'll probably hear it from Raquel too. I still don't think he's going to believe it because he still trusts Davina. He'll definitely think it was Scrappy who gave up the location and not Davina, so it's going to be interesting to see whether Kanan is still naive in the second half of the season, or whether he actually does smarten up a little, or whether this is something we'll see going into season 2. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. How do you think Raquel planting Scrappy into the heart of Unique's organization will change the game in the second half of the first season? Drop me all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and of course if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.